Hey, don't you sometimes feel like you're surrounded by people who don't truly see you or understand your struggles? What if I told you that recognizing the true nature of those around you could be the key to your success? Welcome to Motivation for Success, where today we dive deep into the psyche with none other than Denzel Washington, sharing insights that could change how you view your life, your relationships, and your path to success. Denzel Washington, in his profound wisdom, alerts us to the existence of individuals who mask their true intentions behind a facade of charm and charisma. He states, "There are people who walk among us every day with smiles, charm, and charisma, but underneath it all, something dark lurks. These people aren't just difficult, they might be downright evil." Washington emphasizes that understanding these individuals isn't about being a mind reader, it's about observing their actions. He warns, actions speak louder than words, particularly when it comes to revealing the destructive energy of an evil person. Picture this, you're surrounded by people, some of whom you trust, others you're still figuring out. But among them, there's this one person, charming, seemingly supportive, yet there's a nagging feeling in your gut that something isn't quite right. Have you ever wondered why? Let's dive into the world of manipulation, where the line between help and harm blurs into a strategy of control. Manipulation isn't just a one-off tactic, it's a calculated pattern, a chess game where you're unwittingly the pawn. Experts in psychology and behavior agree that manipulators don't just stumble into controlling others, they master it. They use an array of subtle and overt techniques to ensure they always have the upper hand. Imagine someone who offers you help, but every act of kindness comes with strings attached, invisible at first but tightening over time. It's like accepting a gift only to find out later it was never yours to keep without giving something in return. This pattern of manipulation thrives on tactics like guilt tripping. You felt it, right? That moment when you're made to feel ungrateful or selfish for not meeting someone's expectations, even when those expectations were never explicitly stated. It's a manipulative dance where you're led to believe you owe them for their generosity. Then, there's gaslighting, a term that's become all too familiar in conversations about toxic relationships. Manipulators twist realities, making you question your own sanity or perception. They might deny promises made or events that happened, sowing seeds of doubt in your mind. "Are you sure that's how it happened?" they might ask, their tone suggesting you're the one confused. This isn't just about changing the narrative, it's about making you dependent on their version of reality. And let's not forget emotional blackmail. It's when your emotions are held hostage. "If you really cared about me, you would do this," they might say, making your compliance the measure of your love or loyalty. It's manipulation masked as a test of affection, but in reality, it's about power and control. This consistent pattern isn't just about winning a single argument or favor, it's about dominating your autonomy, your decisions, your life. Over time, this behavior weaves a web of dependency where you might find yourself constantly second-guessing, feeling ungrateful for not bending to their will, or doubting your own judgment. It's a cycle designed to wear you down, making you easier to control, more predictable, and less likely to challenge their authority. But here's the kicker. Recognizing this pattern isn't just about protecting yourself, it's about reclaiming your power. Have you ever caught yourself in this cycle? How did you break free, or are you still entangled? Share your experiences in the comments below. We learn from each other, and your story could be the beacon for someone else navigating through their own storm of manipulation. In understanding this pattern, we not only arm ourselves against future encounters but also learn to foster healthier, more genuine relationships. Remember, the goal isn't to become suspicious of every kindness but to discern when kindness is a guise for control. So, keep your eyes open, trust your instincts, and let's keep this conversation going because recognizing manipulation is the first step towards liberation from it. Imagine being in a room where you're sharing your deepest fears, your recent losses, or your battles with anxiety, only to be met with cold indifference, or worse, a smirk. This isn't the stuff of nightmares, it's the reality when you're dealing with someone who lacks empathy, a trait so fundamental to human connection yet so absent in some. Denzel Washington sheds light on this chilling reality, stating, these individuals seem to be completely disconnected from the emotions and needs of others. Empathy is the emotional bridge that allows us to connect, to understand, and to support one another. But what happens when that bridge is not just missing but torn down intentionally? This absence isn't just about not understanding, it's about not caring or, in a more sinister twist, enjoying the pain of others. Washington notes, when someone close to them is going through a hard time, an evil person may be indifferent, dismissive, or even take pleasure in their suffering. This lack of empathy manifests in ways that can feel like a betrayal. Imagine confiding in someone, expecting compassion, only to receive a dismissive, "You're overreacting," or a cruel, "It's not that big of a deal." These responses aren't just about a lack of understanding, they're about devaluing your experience, your emotions. It's as if your pain is a spectacle, something to be mocked or exploited rather than soothed. The absence of empathy isn't passive, it's actively harmful. These individuals use your vulnerabilities not as points of connection but as opportunities for their own advancement. They might belittle you when you're down, exploit your need for support by making it conditional, or manipulate your emotions for their benefit. This behavior isn't just about neglecting to care, it's about weaponizing your emotional states to maintain control or elevate themselves. But here's where we turn the narrative around. Recognizing this void can be empowering. Have you ever felt your emotions dismissed or used against you? How did you reclaim your sense of self-worth in such scenarios? Drop your experiences in the comments because understanding we're not alone in this can be incredibly healing. In a world where empathy should be a given, encountering its absence is jarring but also enlightening. It teaches us to value true compassion, to seek out those who genuinely care, and to be wary of those who don't. We learn to build our own bridges of empathy, not just for others but for ourselves, understanding that our feelings are valid and deserve respect. So, let's challenge ourselves to be the empathetic presence we wish to see in others. Let's cultivate environments where vulnerability is met with warmth, not disdain. And remember, in the face of empathy's absence, we can choose to be the change, offering the compassion that was once withheld from us. Have you ever encountered someone who walks through life as if they own it, as if the world owes them something more than everyone else? Denzel Washington pinpoints this behavior with his insight into entitlement and superiority, traits that can make interactions feel like you're not just talking to a person, but to someone who views themselves as above the rest. He explains, they believe they are inherently better than others, deserving special treatment. This sense of entitlement isn't just about wanting more, it's about believing they're entitled to it at everyone else's expense. It's a mindset where their desires, their convenience, and their happiness are prioritized above all. This isn't about confidence or self-worth, it's about a misplaced sense of superiority that dismisses others' rights, feelings, or contributions. Imagine someone who cuts in line, not just for the sake of haste but because they believe they deserve to be ahead. Or consider a colleague who takes credit for team efforts, convinced their involvement alone warrants the accolades. These individuals often navigate life with an unspoken rulebook where the rules don't apply to them. They might manipulate situations, coerce others into compliance, or display anger when their expectations aren't met, all under the guise of their supposed superiority. It's not just about bending the rules, it's about believing they're above them. Have you ever seen someone react with disbelief or anger when called out for their behavior, as if the very act of being questioned is an affront to their perceived status? This trait in action can be both subtle and overt. In personal relationships, it might look like expecting constant attention or loyalty without reciprocation. In professional settings, it could manifest as disregarding deadlines or expecting others to clean up after their mistakes, believing their contributions are too valuable to be constrained by common expectations. But here's the empowering part. Recognizing this trait allows us to set boundaries, to challenge this notion of superiority, and to reaffirm our own value and rights. How have you dealt with someone who exudes this sense of entitlement? Share your strategies or stories in the comments below, because in sharing, we learn how to better navigate these encounters. Understanding entitlement and superiority isn't just about spotting it in others, it's about ensuring we don't fall into this trap ourselves. It's a call to reflect on our actions, to ensure we're valuing others as equals, and to foster environments where no one feels lesser or more than. Let this discussion be a catalyst for change in how we view ourselves and others. Ever felt like you were walking through a minefield of emotions, where every step could lead to an explosion of chaos or pain? That's what it's like to navigate the presence of someone with destructive behavior patterns, a hallmark Denzel Washington identifies in those with truly harmful intentions. He vividly describes how these individuals leave behind not just a path but a trail of emotional, mental, or physical destruction. These patterns aren't accidental, they're deliberate, calculated moves where the goal isn't to foster growth or harmony but to control, manipulate, or outright hurt. Washington's words paint a clear picture: they engage in actions that harm themselves and others without concern for the consequences. This isn't about a lack of understanding, it's a willful disregard for the fallout of their actions. Imagine someone who stirs up drama not for the thrill of the moment but as a means to maintain power. They might spread rumors, lie, or twist facts just to see the world around them destabilize. It's like they're puppeteers, pulling strings to watch the chaos unfold, thriving in the confusion they cause. This behavior isn't about building relationships or communities, it's about ensuring that they remain at the center, often through fear or manipulation. Their tactics can be subtle or overt, from gaslighting, making you question your reality, to outright aggression. They might sabotage your efforts, your relationships, or your peace of mind, creating an environment where trust is a luxury you can't afford. And the impact? It's profound. These patterns can leave individuals questioning their worth, their perception, or their ability to trust anyone, including themselves. But here's the silver lining: by recognizing these patterns, you're not just identifying a problem, you're arming yourself with knowledge. Knowledge to protect, to heal, and to move forward. Have you ever found yourself entangled in such a web of destruction? How did you break free, or what strategies have you used to cope? Your experiences could light the way for someone else feeling lost in the chaos. Understanding these destructive behaviors is the first step towards reclaiming your narrative. It's about realizing that their actions are not a reflection of your worth but of their character. It's a call to action, to seek support, to set boundaries, or sometimes, to walk away from the chaos they create. If this discussion has resonated with you, if you've seen these patterns in action or felt their impact, join the conversation in the comments. Your story might be the beacon someone needs. And remember, by engaging with content like this, by liking, sharing, and subscribing, you're not just consuming information, you're becoming part of a community dedicated to growth and healing. Let's continue to shed light on these dark patterns, turning awareness into empowerment. Have you ever been in a situation where someone else's mistake suddenly became your problem? Where, instead of owning up, they pointed fingers in every direction but their own? Denzel Washington pinpoints this behavior with his observation on the inability to take responsibility, a trait that not only frustrates but can deeply affect personal and professional environments. Washington notes, when something goes wrong, they immediately look for someone else to blame. This isn't just about dodging accountability, it's a sophisticated dance of deflection. These individuals have mastered the art of manipulating narratives, turning every fault into someone else's problem. They might blame circumstances, other people, or even twist the facts so convincingly that you begin to question your own memory of events. This pattern isn't merely about avoiding consequences, it's about never evolving. By never admitting their mistakes, they rob themselves of the opportunity to learn, grow, or change. It's a cycle of blame that perpetuates their behavior, ensuring they repeat the same errors without ever acknowledging the harm they cause. Imagine working with someone who always shifts responsibility, leaving you to clean up after their actions, or living with someone who never apologizes because, in their eyes, they never err. This refusal to take responsibility can erode the very foundation of trust and collaboration. In relationships, it breeds resentment. In work environments, it stifles growth and accountability. But here's where we turn the narrative around. Recognizing this trait isn't just about spotting it in others, it's about empowering ourselves to demand better, whether from others or within ourselves. Have you encountered this in your life? How did you navigate these waters, or what lessons did you learn about accountability and responsibility? Share your insights in the comments, because in sharing, we not only heal but also teach others how to navigate similar situations. Understanding this inability to take responsibility is crucial for setting boundaries, demanding accountability from those around you, and fostering an environment where growth is possible. It's about recognizing when you're being unfairly blamed and standing firm in your truth. But it's also about self-reflection, ensuring we're not falling into the same trap. Navigating through life's intricate web of relationships and challenges requires more than just intuition. It demands a keen understanding of human behavior, especially when it comes to recognizing toxic patterns. Denzel Washington, through his profound insights, illuminates the path for us, serving not just as a commentator but as a beacon of wisdom in understanding how to deal with negative influences. His reflections on manipulation, lack of empathy, entitlement, destructive behaviors, and the refusal to take responsibility are not just observations but lessons in safeguarding our integrity and fostering success. Understanding these traits is like being handed a map in a maze. It helps you to see where the pitfalls lie, allowing you to step around them with confidence. It's about empowerment, empowering yourself to draw clear boundaries that protect your mental and emotional space. When you can identify these signs early, you're not just reacting, you're proactively shaping your environment, choosing where and with whom you invest your energy. This knowledge is pivotal for anyone striving to live with integrity. Integrity isn't just about honesty in words, it's about consistency in actions, especially when under pressure or in the face of manipulation. By recognizing these toxic influences, you stay true to your values, ensuring that your life's journey aligns with your core beliefs, rather than being swayed by others' destructive patterns. Moreover, Washington's insights encourage us to seek environments where we can not only survive but thrive. This isn't about isolation but about choosing connections that nurture growth, positivity, and mutual respect. In every aspect of life, be it personal relationships, professional endeavors, or social interactions, understanding these signs helps in fostering a space where you can be your best self, where your potential isn't just recognized but celebrated. So, as you reflect on these lessons from Washington, consider how they apply to your life. Have you identified such traits in your circle? How have you moved or are planning to move towards environments that align with your values? Share your journey in the comments below. By engaging in this conversation, not only do you gain insights, but you also contribute to a community learning to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. If this discussion has sparked a thought or inspired a change in your approach, show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Let's keep this conversation alive, helping each other to recognize, distance from, and ultimately overcome toxic influences, paving the way for a life lived with integrity and success. So, what's your take on this? Have you encountered someone like this in your life? Drop your stories or thoughts in the comments below. Remember, recognizing these signs isn't just about protecting yourself, it's about empowering your journey. Thanks for tuning in to Motivation for Success. If this video inspired you, please hit the subscribe button, like the video, and share it with someone who needs a little motivation today. Let's keep this conversation going. See you in the next video.